Okay, I'm going to introduce a new topic here, and that is arrays. An array is just a list of things. So you can see here that under our traditional programming model, if we wanted a list of awesome punk bands, it would look like this. We'd have item 1, item 2, item 3, etc. The problem with this setup, though, is that it's really hard to do anything with this if we don't know the names of all the variables. Let's say we have a list of things. We don't know how many bands are going to be on the list. We need to figure out a way to work with those. In that case, we use what's called an array. An array uses a format like this. And basically, in this case, it says, I'm going to make a list of bands. By the way, there are 5 items in my list of bands. So let's go ahead and put this into a little bit of Java code so that we can see what it looks like in a program. Okay, so see here I have these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my declaration for my array, put it at the beginning. Hey, I have a list of bands. There are 5 items in the list. Now the way that I actually assign this is a little bit different. So I say bands, and Java uses zero-based arrays, which means that the first item is called item 0. So you can say I have square brackets with a 0. So it says the item at location 0 inside the bands list. So now I'm going to put my second item in there. Bands, square bracket, item number 1, just like that. Okay, now that I have this done, what am I going to do? Well, first, let's try something like this. So let's say I want to print one of these. I want to print NoFX, which is at location number 1. And you can see that what I've done is I've said system.out.println bands at location 1. Let's see how this works out, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And then you can see that it printed out NoFX. Perfect. Alright, well, what if I want to print out everything? Hopefully you're thinking to yourself, gosh, that sounds like a loop. So for int, I'm always complaining about using int band number, start at 0 because it's a 0-based array. We know that there are 5 items in our array, so we're going to say where band number is less than 5, band number plus plus. This should look very familiar to you. Now we're going to say system out println band number. Boom. Just like that. So I think what should happen, if I'm right, is this is going to print out a list of bands. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh, I have an error. Ah, bands. I mistyped something. There it is. Now it'll work. Or not. Add an extra character. Okay, now for the millionth time. And then you can see that this printed out my list of bands just like I expected it to. So the last thing that we can do is we don't always know how large an array is. Remember, an array has a list of things. We don't know how long the list is. So what I'm going to do here is instead of saying less than or equal to 5, I'm going to say bands, which is the name of my array, dot length. There it is. Okay. So if I go ahead and run this, it should work just like it did last time. Perfect. Printed out my list of bands.